Who were some of your biggest influences on your life and then kind of help you get to where you're at?
Well, of course, I got to give credit to my father.
Yeah.
He has a double major in business and insurance.
What is your father's name, by the way?
My father's name is Michael Antonen.
Awesome.
My number two would be my former employers. I used to work for a tow company.
Yeah. How do you imagine your business or even yourself? Because I know you're big on like marketing yourself just in your story. Like, how do you imagine that evolving in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, I would like to see the business grow.
Yeah.
I'm sure every business owner wants to see
Yeah,
their business
absolutely.
grow.
Yeah. What advice would you give to someone that's maybe looking to get into a business or start their own business or just life in general?
My best advice would be to figure out your idea, for one, right?
Yeah. How do you manage to balance your work and personal life?
So managing and balancing my work and personal life is difficult.
What's good, everybody? Good morning. We are here with another episode, and I have a special guest today. Actually, this is like the second time. It's my first time meeting someone, so I'm super excited about it, and I can't wait for you to learn his story. And his name is Andrew Antonen, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all right, cool. I messed it up the first time, but it's just the first time I've ever seen that last name, so I just had to learn. So it's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for allowing us to come out here today, and we'll go ahead and get into it. So why don't you introduce yourself?
So my name is Andrew Antonen, born in Albuquerque, raised in Rio Rancho. So the land of enchantment and the 505 has been my home my whole life, and this is a big staple to me.
Awesome. And we kind of linked up in a pretty cool way, so shout out to Brandon. He was a follower of Brandon, and he hit me up, and I'm super excited to have this opportunity to interview you. So yeah, man, thanks for allowing us to come out here. So let's go ahead and get into our general questions and what we have going on. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how you got started and your business.
So the name of our business is Amtek Builders. We build custom garages and workshops here in Albuquerque and the surrounding areas.
Cool.
Originally, he started the construction company in California. It was named different.
And it was your dad, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It was my father that founded the company, and that business had dissolved due to another business partner, and so he came out here to New Mexico and started from scratch. So a few years after he came down, I was born, and I've always been riding in the truck or going to see customers or picking up trash since the age of a toddler.
Yeah. And that's how you got involved in that. And you have an interesting story as well, right? If you want to, maybe you want to share a little bit about your story and like kind of your path into like where we're at right now.
Absolutely. So I'm a felon, a 3-time felon. I was addicted to fentanyl. It started with an oxycodone addiction and just later transitioned into that. Now I currently am a subcontractor for the Administrative Office of the Courts. I facilitate a self-help group for the drug court, and I'm also a community support worker for a local Christian ministry here in Rio Rancho. And they provide a lot of like resources and help, not really therapeutic, but more of building your life skills or mentorship.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
So because of those two deals, I just really feel that I have an obligation to the community to give back. This same community that built me up on my feet. I was given another chance. I was facing a habitual offender charge, so that tacked on extra prison years I was facing, and I just was given another chance, and I was humble about it. So that also has played a huge role in learning with the construction company and the business, because when I was at my worst, my father and the company wasn't at its best either.
No, that's awesome. And I love that. And when we first met, you introduced yourself to me, like you told me about your story, and I was like, I loved it, man. And I love what you're doing, and I want more people to hear about just that it is possible, and that you're a great example of like what can happen when you persevere and you get through things, and now your business is doing well, and this is cool. So we're gonna get into some cool questions and allow you to tell your story. So where did the name from the business come from? Do you happen to know that?
So my father started with A because our last name is Antonen, but also, back in the 80s and 90s, everything was phone book, right? Yeah. So he wanted to be at the top of the phone book. And so I asked him, how did the rest of the letters come into play? And he didn't really have an answer. Couldn't recall, but I do know that the first letter and how that was what got him to start thinking.
For the phone book. Oh, that's so smart. Yeah, okay. That's super cool. As far as like your journey, and I know they kind of give everybody kind of a rundown, but what were some pivotal moments that like I guess helped shape to get you here and put you in this position?
So basically hitting rock bottom, and rock bottom is different to everybody. Rock bottom to me was being a felon, being a drug addict, literally just having an $800 car, an air mattress, and a handful of clothes, having basics.
Nothing, yeah.
Being stripped of everything, right? And that's when I realized, okay, I ran out of chances. My father's getting older. My father's 73. I have a little sister as well. I also have to take care of myself and my life. So just realizing like, okay, life is changing and I either get it together or the whole family is going to suffer because of my actions and my choices was my pivotal moment and really the epiphany that I had on what I needed to do to take off and to make the change in our family.
Oh, I love that, man. That's an awesome story, and I hope this helps some people understand, like, even if you're at the bottom, and you're at the bottom, right? So you can find your way out of it, and there's always that next step to take to hopefully turn your life around. Who were some of your biggest influences on your life and then kind of help you get to where you're at?
Well, of course, I got to give credit to my father. He
Yeah.
has a double major in business and insurance.
What is your father's name, by the way?
My father's name is Michael Antonen.
Awesome.
And
Shout out to Michael.
yes, shout out to Dad. Hello. And my dad's been a solid dad. He has a double major, in business and insurance, and he learned a lot. Has been working on the farm since 8. Really knew and understood the pioneer days of pumping water and going to the outhouse and having to work just to have a basic life of survival. And so he's taught me a lot when it comes to taking chances and being prepared to take a chance. If you lose, you have to be prepared for that. And so that would be my number one. And my number two would be my former employers. I used to work for a tow company. Yeah. And during that time is when I transitioned from my divorce to becoming a drug addict and then losing custody of my son. And they were there for me. They were solid people that gave me chances. They're a big part of my sobriety and why I'm sober now. Now they're amazing friends and mentors. So those are the people. And of course there's other people that get credit, but those are the two biggest, individuals that played the most impact in my life.
That's awesome, man. I love to hear that, and so it takes good people. It takes a village to raise a family,
Yeah.
But I think it takes a village to keep you sane sometimes too, right? Like
Absolutely.
So, can you tell us maybe some current projects you're working on, or anything that you're excited about that you got coming up?
So we do have a project coming up that's going to be pretty big, actually, and it's going to be set up for archery. Our customer wants to be able to practice shooting his bows and arrows.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
That's a pretty unique project. Of course, I'm excited for the summer to come. We're right in the middle of winter, so work's a little slower.
We're having
and
fun
harder
outside
to
right now.
get done. Absolutely.
Cool, man. I love that. So I know we talked about your life challenges, but as far as the business side of things, and I know you're like taking this next step for the marketing of the business, and which is super cool. Like, you guys do a really good job. I checked out your website, and I'll get that posted on here. Are there any challenges you faced along that aspect along the way to get to this point?
Yeah, so really, the biggest challenge was created by myself. My dad has always kind of expected and asked me to help when it comes to technology and marketing with the business. And, I had developed the basic way before COVID.
Yeah.
And of course, as technology updates, you got to update everything. So when I became a drug addict, all of that, was long gone, forgotten about.
Yeah.
So coming back into the picture and realizing, well, we're way outdated here.
Yeah.
I need to get this website revamped. I need to get our logo revamped. I need to get the Google profile going. I need to get website, put out with keywords and et cetera, right? Just marketing in general. That was my biggest challenge because it's not the process of getting it done. It's the process of having a father who's 73 and is accustomed to being more old school,
stuck in
and
his
having
ways.
to convince and get him to understand that this is the better way to take. This is what's up to date. This is what the social norm is.
Yeah.
So once for him, he was real reluctant of letting me do any of that, especially with my past, behavior. It's hard to trust. But I took it upon myself to pay for a little bit of it and got the stuff done. And once he saw the product, he liked it. And so now it's good. We're in a good direction.
No, I love that. That's great. And like, to your point, like, I think that's a lot of like when our biggest challenges come, it's like taking that first step, right?
Yeah.
And in your recovery, that was the thing, right? You took the first step.
Absolutely.
And the same thing with the business. So I think they kind of go hand in hand sometimes, and like you're kind of ready for anything now. Like
it's definitely a similar recipe, right?
Yeah.
It's a recipe of never giving up.
Yeah.
Of understanding that you got to keep trying, and you're gonna fall down, and it's gonna hurt.
That
you got to keep on going.
Yeah. How do you imagine your business, or even yourself? Because I know you're big on like marketing yourself, just in your story. Like, how do you imagine that evolving in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, I would like to see the business grow.
Yeah.
I'm sure every business owner wants to see their business
absolutely.
grow.
Yeah.
But I want to grow the correct way,
Yeah.
right? And the correct way is being honest and having a good reputation and taking care of the community. This is the community that took care of me. So, you know, if we can grow and have the ability to give back to the community, I would love to be able to do that, whether it's donating to foundations or doing my own little fundraisers. That's what I envision with the business in the future. I'm already doing that as an individual out here, out of my own pocket. Right. But I want to see more people come and more people get help, right? Because lots of times we're dealing with people that they're calling us for a reason.
Yeah.
They're not calling us because they want to put clutter in a garage, right?
Yeah.
They're calling us because they need a casita because their mother is getting ill and they want to have their mother close to home. Or maybe, you know, they need to have an office space or a gym for whatever reason. And we've done a lot of work basically that caters to our customer.
Yeah.
My dad used to be an ADA listed contractor, so we used to do remodels for a lot of vets that would get grants and stuff, and those
awesome.
are time consuming,
Yeah.
you know, but you know, we really believe in treating our customers well and just giving back.
That's awesome, man. It's very reflective in all of our interactions and everything. You did a great job to making sure we were taken care of to get here, and if we needed anything. So I think you're doing a great job, and I can definitely see that being happening, man. What advice would you give to someone that's maybe looking to get into a business or start their own business or just life in general?
My best advice would be to figure out your idea, for one, right?
Yeah.
You need to figure out an idea. Not saying you can't have some backups,
Yeah.
but when you pick your idea, stick with it.
Yeah.
A lot of people give up before they realize the finish line is just a couple steps away.
Yeah.
You got to just have the attitude. It's an obsession.
Yeah.
It really, truly is. Like it's a lifestyle, right? If you want your business to do good, or you want to grow as an individual, because whether it's you as an individual growing, which will in return make your business grow, or just the business growing,
right,
or you as a leader with your, you know, employees,
crew,
with your crew, you got to be a good leader. And so for me, that's a good answer to that, is just you got to stick with it, be dedicated. You got to keep on trying and never give up, and also have a good mentor, good support, and know how to take care of yourself. Self-care is really important.
You got to sell the dream.
Sell the dream.
Yeah.
The dream, or I don't like the word dream. I like goals.
Yeah, sell the goal. There you go.
Because
That's
when
a
you're
better way to say
dreaming,
it.
you're sleeping. When you set a goal, it's almost an expectation.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you're right. Yeah, it's always a dream until you actually make it happen. So how do you manage to balance your work and personal life?
So managing and balancing my work and personal life is difficult. So of course, when you are playing catch up, or you're working harder to get ahead, or maybe you just take on some more responsibilities, it's going to be rough at first. At first, you know, I had to take some sacrifices of sleep or sacrifices of entertainment or recreation. But now, the way that I'm able to figure out how to balance it is efficiency, right? How can I do multiple things at once?
Yeah.
Or how can I delegate certain tasks to be given to other people that can do them for me?
Yeah.
And so I'm starting to learn that. And so, you know, I feel that with what I have now as far as my caseload in life, I'm able to manage it now pretty well.
More
I
effective.
think I'm doing good.
No, that's good, man. I think what you mentioned about like learning how to delegate tasks is such an important skill for, especially when you get into management, because you're such a doer, right? And you've always been the doer and get stuff done. So learning how to take your foot off the throttle a little bit and
it's hard.
And apply it in different ways. I've noticed that's like a big thing for some people, is just like learning how to do that. And so if you can effectively learn how to do that, I think that's a great skill.
Absolutely.
That's an important skill to have for sure. Are there any tools or resources that you would recommend to someone that could help them or that helped you and you know, in everything?
Yes. So books, right?
Yeah.
For me, it was business, entrepreneurship books, Stoic philosophy, the Bible. I'm big on my faith.
Yeah.
Books in general, right, are knowledge. Reading that not alongside your podcasts or your videos or your reels, right? That's really big. Any type of learning is a necessity for that. Also having a mentor, having your support, and having your hobbies or your self-care, and learning the value of your time, right? Learning the value of your time is so important because that is going to give you the ability to cut out what is not necessary in your life and welcome in what is more necessary. And you're going to figure out real quick what matters most to you, what's really important. Because when you don't have more time in a day, you have to pick. And I don't like hurting people's feelings. Sometimes people are not good with managing or orchestrating their schedule or their calendar.
Right.
So I run off of a calendar. I'm really like super cut and dry. So I feel that calendar, writing things down, planning, those are all good examples of tools and resources that I would research on and actively practice now. And I'm going to finish with the gym as well, taking care of your health, your diet. All of that has to do with the way you think, the way you can perform. So
no, those are great. And I honestly, the last part and like the calendar thing, I'm big on both of those, and they helped change my life because I was some structure, right? I was very unorganized there for time in my life.
I know for me being ADHD, I could be all over the place. So
no, that's cool. I love it. And last tough question before we get into the fun stuff at the end. And I appreciate you. Thank you so much again for allowing us to be here. This was great. What legacy do you hope to leave when it's all said and done?
Well, if I can imagine a legacy, it would be something that is stable, as far as on the business side, to take care of my family. You know, to make sure that if I happen to be called home tomorrow, that they will be taken care of. There's passive income they don't have to worry about, that they can just live their life and be taken care of. But alongside that, the reputation. Right? I want to be known, me personally, but the business, and I know my dad feels this way too, very strongly, is we care about our reputation, right? And especially me, because being a former felon, a drug addict, you know, I'm a person that when I walk up somewhere, it's a little harder. I have more hoops to jump through. So the legacy I want to leave is to show others that no matter where you're at in life, no matter what challenges come your way, you can get through them if you put your mind to it. If you're genuine, if you're honest about it, you will get there, because nothing but doors have been opening for me now, and you guys are a good example of a door. So I would like for, you know, the legacy to showcase that we took care of the community, that we were a part of the community, right? That New Mexico and people here in Albuquerque, we're family, because there's not a lot of us, and we talked about it briefly at the beginning of, you know, before the podcast, of the stigma that people have on New Mexico and Albuquerque. You know, we want to change that. That's what I'm trying to do, is change the image. And there's nowhere else to do it, or a better way to start it other than starting with you.
The last section here, we're back in the 10 questions, and I think it's 10 questions. We took a couple out, we're adding a couple. We're gonna get into this. So these are just fun questions off the top of your dome. You don't have to put too much thought into them. You can if you want to. But yeah, this is the fun part of the whole thing, and this is the part that I enjoy. So first question, if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Tacos.
Tacos?
Tacos, hands down, and a true, authentic Mexican taco.
All right, like you're talking like street taco kind of?
Like a street taco. It's anything you'll find at a taco truck.
All right, okay. What would be your dream vacation?
My dream vacation would be to go like to the Bahamas, or somewhere that's really tropical with warm waters, definitely outside of the United States.
Okay.
So like the Caribbean or the Bahamas, somewhere like that.
Yeah, Bahamas was cool, man. You should definitely check it out. It was cool. We did it off a cruise, but I definitely recommend it.
I was thinking about doing the cruise.
Yeah.
Just because, for one, it's a little cheaper and a little more structured.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun, man. I think you'd have a great time. What is your favorite drink?
My favorite drink is sweet tea.
I
could
love
drink
good sweet
tea all day, every day.
Is there a place you get it normally from, or is just like any sweet tea?
Well, my personal favorite sweet tea is Milo's sweet tea, that can be found at like Smith's, Albertsons. And I think it's brewed in Arkansas. So
Okay.
it's shipped out, but it's super basic. It's like tea leaves, water, sugar. Like,
I have to get a picture of that.
the real deal. It has a red label, red cap.
Cool. All right. Favorite place to eat? Speaking of food.
Well, favorite place to eat, I'd have to say, is my mom and dad's home.
All right.
Man, they can't. I don't think I've gone anywhere else that can serve me a better meal than that.
Shout out to that home cooking.
Right.
Okay, what's the favorite thing they make? I know you said you competition barbecue, so but like.
All right.
Yeah.
So the favorite thing that my dad makes, right?
Yeah.
Both of my parents are great cooks. They cook out of scratch. Everything's homemade. My father loves barbecue, so that's his cup of tea. He's from the Midwest, and my mom's from Mexico. I'm half Mexican, so my mom is true, authentic Mexican food.
So you got that good food.
The good Mexican food, because it's hard here in New Mexico. Most people want to label it Mexican, and it's not.
No,
It's
two
New
different
Mexican.
things. Two different things.
Correct.
Yeah. What's the favorite thing that they make though? Just the type of food?
My dad is barbecue, and if I were to be specific,
Yeah.
ribs. And my mother, her enchiladas are pretty good because she uses a blend of like 4 different red chilies, and it's just a very distinct, specific
Taste.
flavor of the sauce that I haven't found anywhere else.
That sounds so good. Okay, now I'm hungry. Ideal day off activity.
Ideal day off activity, man, that's hard because lots of times when I'm on my days off, I find myself working or doing things like this, right? So really just spending time with family, checking in on the family, seeing how I can be an asset or how I could cater to someone else and that's close to me. I really like taking care of people. I find my happiness and my pleasure in taking care of my people that are close to me.
See, that's awesome. I think that's a great ideal day off activity, and that's one of my favorite things too, is hanging out with my family.
Oh, yeah.
So, what song do you pick to get you hyped up?
The one song that
Got a car
picks to
coming.
get me hyped up. Okay, so the song that gets me hyped up is, I wouldn't say a specific song, but I like listening to like music that kind of like EDM or beats, not necessarily it has like a lot of sound. I guess it really boils down to the frequencies, right?
Yeah.
Like classical.
Yeah.
There's just certain tunes with no voices that just get you pumped
Put you in the zone.
get you in the zone. And that's, for me, it's pulling up Pandora and just finding which station works for me in that moment. Because I'm a weirdo. Sometimes I used to drive a tow truck, so it used to be like, songs, and then next thing you know, you get tired of songs. You're changing genres.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
You're listening to music all day. So it's just what I really am vibing for the day.
No, that's awesome. I love it. If you could make the ultimate sandwich, what would be in the sandwich?
My ultimate sandwich, I guess this is like my go-to if I go to like Subway, would be Italian herbs cheese bread, and then you're gonna throw down the roast beef, pepper jack cheese, toast it, lettuce, spinach, tomato, onion, cucumber, salt and pepper, and pretty heavy with the oil and vinegar, and that's pretty much my go-to right there.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try that based on the video today. If I post another video and you see me try this out,
Let's do it.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
The best piece of advice I've ever been given is patience. Time has its way of healing things or repairing things, and understanding, right? Being stoic, because it's easy to make life about you. This is our character in our video game, and everyone wants to think about themselves. But I've found the more that I help others, and the more that I really treat other people good, and I'm there for them, I see they're there for me. And so the best advice I have is take care of people, because they're going to take care of you.
No, I love that. That's a lesson that I had to learn late, but it's a great one that I learned, and thankfully I did learn it at some point. Last 2 questions. What's been your craziest garage project?
The craziest garage project probably would have to be one we did several years back prior to COVID, and it was out in the South Valley. South Valley is an interesting place. You could have a mobile home and then $1 million home next to each other. But anyways, it was an upscale property, and the guy had an RV, and he wanted a huge RV garage. And the reason he wanted a huge RV garage was also to add a bar, shower, and an upstairs loft with rooms, had epoxy floors, industrial heating and cooling. It was very, very deluxe.
All right, sounds like a home. Yep. And last question, what's your favorite part of New Mexico, man?
My favorite part of New Mexico is the weather and the people.
The people?
Weather, I've been to a lot of different states, and I really feel New Mexico knows the balance when it comes to weather, even though New Mexico can be very bipolar with its weather.
Very much.
And the people, man, we have a different culture here.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I'm born and raised here, but I love the people. I love the culture.
It's like a mixing pot.
Correct.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, that was it.
Man.
Thank you so much for being on my show. Like I said, me and Levi, thank you. Like if you don't help us and offer to do this, I don't have any content. And I love your story. I wanted to get that out, and you know, I hope this does well for you. Just like I hope like people hear your story and they want to come work with you, and even just, you know, like to feel inspired. And I hope that does for you, like what you've been doing for others. So
absolutely,
yeah.
it's a big honor to be able to share my story. And for me, you know, yes, a part of it is having that personal fame, the spotlight, but really the majority of it is to be an influence and to show other people that may be in my shoes, or were in my shoes where I used to be at. I might be some sort of hope or light for them, and to realize that they could do something and be happy in life.
No, I love that, man. Awesome. Well, thank you. That's another episode of What's Good New Mexico Style, and thanks again, Andrew, and I appreciate you, and good luck with everything, bro, and yeah, we'll get this out, and thanks for watching. Have a good day.
Thank you.